Hello, and a very warm welcome to this Onepoint Oneness session. My name is Els, and to give you a little bit of a background, we started this project Oneness in May 2020. And the idea was that we wanted to share some of the ideas and practices of Raja Yoga meditation with a wider audience. This meditation that several of us at Onepoint have been practicing for many years is in fact yoga of the mind. We invite experienced meditators every fortnight now, and we ask them to share their ideas about a particular topic, but also to guide us into a short meditation. So far, we have had more than 90 guest speakers, people from the UK as well as from abroad. And today I'm very, very pleased to welcome Marcelo Bulk, who joins us from Colombia. Marcelo has been working as a business consultant for many years for major companies in Europe, Latin America, and Asia. He is currently associated with the Union Consulting Group in Colombia, as well as the Oxford Leadership Academy. Marcelo lectures internationally on topics such as self-leadership, human values, and meditation. He is the author of the book, The Pathway Towards Leadership, which has been published in Spanish and Portuguese. As a national coordinator, Marcelo oversees all the activities of the meditation centers in Colombia. And the topic we have chosen for today is Turn Hurt into Healing. So very, very warm welcome to you, Marcelo.
Thank you so much, Els, and thanks everyone who is there. I'm honored to be with you from Bogota, Colombia. And well, let's work on that topic about hurting and healing. I have two friends here in Colombia, and they are a very good example for me on how to deal with hurt, and particularly sickness. One of them, she was paralyzed for 10 years. She couldn't move from a bed. And she was still a teenager. After coming out of the sickness, she improved practically completely. She still cannot run, she cannot walk too much, but she can move around very easily. But she took a decision, and that decision was extremely important for her healing. She was from a very high level in terms of society. And so she decided to not get into high society. Rather than that, she started to help people, particularly mothers, who are poor, who don't have much money. And it was a beautiful, beautiful work. She's now retired. But another thing she did in the personal life that really, really was touching is that after she came out of the sickness, she couldn't have children. So she decided to have like 10 children. So she adopted like 10 children. I know a few of them. And they all look like her. If you take her and her husband, you sum up, you do the math, genetic math we learn from school. What happened is that it looks like they are their biological children, and they are not. She's now grandmother, and it is great. That was her way of healing, to not delve, to not stay there in the past, in the sickness, in the horror of being a teenager, laying in a bed, but to think about the higher purpose of your life. Another friend, she's also very close to me, and she's a journalist, and I used to go to her radio program every month or every 2 months. And she was full of energy. She's very bright, And then one day I went there, and she was kind of dark and moody, and she couldn't walk well. She got sick also. And I saw her sickness consuming her. all her energy, all her force, all her power, her career, everything was threatened. And then she came out. Still, she walks with a stick around, but it's incredible. It's incredible how she was able to heal from whatever she went through. And she wrote a book. If you read Spanish, you can just contact me. I'll give you the name of the book in Spanish. But the essence of the book is how the sickness turned into be healing. Because she got sick, she started to see the world in a different way. She started to change her mentality, and she became a different person. And these are just two examples of what being hurt can happen to you if you know how to heal yourself. We live in a world that sometimes looks like everybody's trying to hurt another person, you know. There is too much competition. There are very few friends, real friends. Maybe you have 10,000 people in Facebook, but that doesn't count much as friends. And we live in a society that people are kind of getting to a different, I don't know, different stage of civilization even, you know. And being hurt is very easy. And healing is also very easy. Netflix, you know, just switch on Netflix, you watch a movie and you feel very well. Oh gosh, I'm healed. No, but it doesn't work like that, you know. So I was thinking that being hurt, for the healing, you need to understand the three different stages of that wound, you know. And I'm going to use the physical wound as a metaphor. So if you have some hurt here, you know, so okay, so the first thing you have to do is clean it up. Second thing, you have to treat. You have to put something to protect it. You have maybe to take something for your health, so you don't get some very strange, weird germs around. And the third thing is you have to live with the impact of that wound. Maybe it gets a scar, okay? Or maybe your hand, you cannot move that well. Okay, I was hurt when I was a child. I used to fight judo, you know, it was a sport, and I suffered a bad fall. So my arm is never perfect. I cannot do with this arm what I can do with this one. You know, it's still functional, but there is always some effect, some sequel, some consequences. Now, what about if you are hurt because someone talked to you about something and it really hurt your heart? Or maybe someone you trust, yeah, that person who is just walking there, that person, oh, they betrayed you. What to do? Or how to deal with that job? You prepared so well, you did things very well, everything was perfect, and they fired you just like that, merciless. So there are many ways to be hurt in this world, but the first thing you have to do is to clean the wound. What does that mean? It means to understand, you know, to go into some time of introspection and just understand what's going on. Just to understand what was all that about. Because until you don't clean that, it won't really be healed. So you need the process of introversion. You need the process of introspection. You need to go inside within. Or maybe an alternative is to go outside and talk with people who are wiser than you, people who can really support you. And support doesn't mean, oh, you are good, you're very special, you didn't do anything, but someone who really makes you, helps you to understand what happened. Without that, it's almost impossible to heal, because the wound will open again and again. And again and again, the memories will come to your mind. And every time you saw that person, you feel, you don't like, or you feel sad, something, but you won't be able to deal with that situation easily. So you need the healing. For that healing, you need to, first of all, try to understand, try to talk to yourself. That's extremely important. And I want you to do that right now. If there is someone who hurt you or some situation that hurt you, just think for a few seconds. How, why, what is that situation really? Because maybe that situation is there, that person is there to make you better, to make you great, wonderful. That's the first stage. Second stage is that you have to treat it. You have to do something about it. Many times you have to isolate yourself from that person. You know the person who betrayed you. Many times you have to look for a different career. Many times you have to move out, move to another country. All of this is valid in the process of healing because you have to do something to treat yourself. But I tell you something, I work with meditation for almost 40 years now. And meditation is a very powerful tool to heal inside. And I'm a person that I was hurt so many times in my life. So I learned to use meditation to not go inside the wound, trying to scratch and open it more. But rather than that, take something powerful into myself and really, really, really go beyond the suffering that comes. And how does that work? Because when you meditate, you detach yourself from the situation. You detach yourself from everything that happened, even that person. And when you detach, you can see and you can appreciate things in a different way. Just now, I was in a long trip and I met one person. That person, I was working with him many years ago. And he said many tough and very unpolite things to me. It was really, really hurtful. And I decided to not talk to him. He lives in another country, I live in another country. I mean, we don't really meet. So it was not necessary for me to talk to him. So I isolated myself. But now we were a small group and he sat on my table to eat there. We are eating together. So you couldn't isolate yourself in that situation. And I really didn't want to do with him what he did with me and speak harsh words. I didn't want. And I just let it flow naturally. And with the power of meditation, there was a change. Not only his attitude, but also in my attitude. I didn't see him as a possible enemy. I saw him as someone who is in the same trip I am. We are traveling together. Maybe that day he had a bad day. I don't know what was his battle at that moment. Now he's okay, so let me enjoy that person as a whole. And it was very useful, but I was able to do that with the power of meditation. That was very, very strong for me. It was a wonderful lesson, really. The third thing is the impact, the effect, the aftermath of that hurt. Because normally when you are hurt, means you fought with someone, there was some problem there, you are in a kind of battlefield. So there is always some aftermath after that. So what to do about it? To have scars is not nice, right? But our body is able to do wonders. I just had COVID. Yeah, in the place I traveled to, I got COVID there, and it was very strong, extremely strong. For 2 days, particularly, I was really, really in a bad shape. It was like a flu, and it was, I didn't have any energy, nothing. But slowly, like one symptom after the other was dropping out. So slowly my health was getting better. And I was thinking about what will happen after that. I mean, what will happen, you know? And it's very fresh. I really don't know what will happen. but but one thing I'm sure, the most important thing is I can work, I have energy, my brain's working perfectly, everything's working okay, the most important thing. So yes, I have a little cough from time to time. Yes, my voice sounds a little harsh, but otherwise everything is great. And one realization I had with that is no matter what happened to you, it happened past. It's extremely important that right now you don't get affected by whatever happened. It's difficult, yes, it is. But just do some work internally. There is a thing I do from time to time, which is just to give. I give to the universe. I just give out my problems, not in the sense I want to give others my problems so they solve them, but in the sense that I don't want the emotional burden. I'll solve the problem, no problem, but I don't want the emotional load there. So you can see an exercise to do that, because otherwise I live in a country this country has been in war since the 19th century. I was born in Brazil. Really, it's more than 100 years in a war, you know, and it's really bad, really bad. And every time they make a peace treaty, our president here was a Nobel Prize at that point. Then there are people who come against, etc., and they have their own reasons. And I cannot say if it's wrong or bad, it's good or whatever. But the thing is, if you really want to heal, you have to let the past be the past. Focus on your present and just build up a new future. So I hope that works for you. And I would like to invite you for a meditation experience talking about these three topics. So I don't want you to think about the things that hurt you. I don't want you to be meditating and look at your partner like this, look, that's for you, okay? I would like you to just think you are in a beautiful place. In fact, I think you are, but really enjoy the beautiful place inside your mind. Think that you have a space inside your mind, like a little cottage there. And just go to that cottage of peace, of love, of happiness. And just think of yourself. Let me think of myself as a person who is in a beautiful trip, the trip of life, traveling every day. And many things happen on the way. But I understand what I am doing. I understand what are my specialties. my qualities, how powerful I am. So no obstacle can prevent me to be peaceful, happy, light. And just like light, I can travel. And light cannot be hurt. Light cannot be damaged. And I am like that. Anything that happens in my life is to make me grow, to make me more powerful, more focused. And I feel that. I feel the lightness of being light, a light, changing darkness into a beautiful day, changing loss into opportunity, even change an enemy into a very honest friend. I embrace all these experiences with arms of light, just light. And I know my future will be brighter than my present. I know my future will be much more wonderful than any dream I ever had, because that's what I'm building right now. Any obstacles that came into my life, they became like bridges, and they made me come to this point faster. And the same will be for the future. And any time, any obstacle, any problem, any barrier comes to my mind, just let me detach. Just let me feel myself as light. And let me experience a little bit of the future I am building. So I breathe deeply. If my eyes are closed, I open them slowly. I can move my hands a little bit, my legs, my feet. Step by step, I come back, feeling the healing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marcelo, for this beautiful session. We have a few minutes before we close, so I would like to ask you a question. You explained very clearly that the process of healing it's important not to be stuck in the past, to clean the wound, to understand what was going on, and of course then to move forward. But at a particular moment you mentioned that no matter what happens, do not let this affect you. Can you say a little bit more about that?
Yes, many times they disarm, no? So when the person treated my arm, he was not a doctor, so he was just a therapist. So he said, well, when you are 40 years old, you won't be able to move your arm anymore. I'm almost 60 now, and I can move my arm very well. So I didn't let his words to affect me too much. A closer example now, when I traveled, to the place I traveled, there was lots of threats in terms of COVID. So the fear of getting COVID was real, was really, really real. And I got it. So it was not imaginary. I got, and other, I think 30 people or more even, we got COVID. And it was an amazing experience, really. I felt so happy all the time. I felt so well cared. Uh, and really, even so, I had COVID there. And I tell you, it's not the best place to have COVID. I can say it didn't affect me at all negatively. In fact, the doctor, he sent me a message saying, okay, tomorrow you can come out of isolation, you know, because you'll be positive for some time still, but you are not contagious anymore. So you can come out. So I went out, it was early morning. I was so full of energy, I could go out of my room. Yeah, it was great. So I was just there, and then I saw some people and they were preparing to get a car, going down the mountain and go to a session early morning there, to whatever they were, And I said, okay, I'm going. I mean, I was still recovering. The cough was still there. I had, from any time I start to cough, just like that, anytime. I was talking to you, cough comes. But I decided to go. And it was one of the most beautiful experiences I ever had, because I didn't allow me to get affected. I could just say, well, what a horrible place, I got COVID. but no, I didn't allow me. It was extremely important for me. And that was with the power of meditation. I mean, I couldn't do otherwise. And the vaccination also, thank you very much. I saw the effect of vaccine also, so it was great.
Yeah, that's really a great example, Marcelo. I was with you on the journey while you were talking about it, and great how you dealt with that illness, because as you said, several people have really gone into kind of self-pity and isolating, and sometimes it then gets worse because you don't have that positive mind or positive set of mind. Great, thank you. So thank you also for the technical team, and just to remind everyone that the sessions are available on YouTube, and I hope you have enjoyed it, and thanks for joining us today. Bye-bye.